Hey guys, welcome back. In clinical practice, restoring an extensively damaged tooth is itself a challenge, and also the failures to post and core are also that common. The extent of longevity greatly depends on how much the restoration or crown embraces the tooth structure. For that, we need to know something which is called as ferrule and ferrule effect. So today, that itself is the topic of our discussion. So if you are new to the channel, please like, share and subscribe my channel Akshay Bhandari's Dental Videos. So let's move on. So ferrule, it is derived from the word ferrum, which means iron, and variola, which means bracelet. So ferrule, it is a ring or cap, typically a metal one which strengthens the end of a handle or tube and prevents it from splitting or wearing. So in the figure we can see that to the barrel there are multiple metal rings which are surrounded in a 360-degree fashion. These metal plates, they strengthen the barrel and prevent it from splitting or wearing. Similarly, in the next figure we can see that there is a water pipe. So over this water pipe there is a metal nut which acts as ferrule, and this metal nut, it prevents the pipe from the breakage. So the main purpose of the ferrule is to protect the core or the base material from splitting or wearing or breakage. Then what is ferrule in dentistry? So ferrule in the earlier days was misinterpreted as the amount of remaining tooth structure. So if we see the figure, first figure, this is the remaining or residual tooth structure after the preparation. So in the earlier concepts, this tooth structure was considered as ferrule, but this is not the case. The intaglio surface of the crown would always be in contact with the residual tooth structure. So if we see the colored area in the first figure, this is the portion of the intaglio surface of the crown which is in contact with the residual tooth structure. So this band is present in a 360-degree fashion. So this encircling band of cast metal which is in contact with the coronal surface or remaining tooth structure is called as ferrule. So basically ferrule is related to the prosthesis or crown which we cement over the tooth surface and not the remaining tooth structure. So in the simple words, if we say ferrule is that portion of the prosthesis or crown which is in contact with the residual tooth structure. Just remember that in this case, the portion of the crown which is in contact with the core buildup material is not considered. Only that portion of the crown which is in contact with the tooth structure is considered as ferrule. So on cementing the prosthesis, this shaded area, it forms a ferrule and forms a 360-degree metal which encircles the tooth surface and braces the tooth. So this ferrule, it prevents the independent flexure of the tooth or core or post structures. So this ultimately provides resistance to the dislodgement and it prevents the fracture of the prosthesis. So this effect of the ferrule of providing the resistance to dislodgement and preventing the tooth from the fracture itself is called as ferrule effect. So in ferrule effect, the role of the remaining tooth structure is very much vital, because more the height of the remaining tooth structure we have, there will be more stability to the lateral forces and there will be more resistance to the independent flexure of the tooth or post or core structures. If we focus on the first figure, the amount of the residual tooth structure is inadequate. So as the amount of residual tooth structure is inadequate, the ferrule obtained would also be lesser because the extent of the contact of the prosthesis to the teeth would be lesser. On the contrary, if we focus on the second figure, we have an adequate amount of tooth structure which is present. So on cementation of the prosthesis, we also get an adequate amount of ferrule. So the shaded area which is present shows the extent of the ferrule. So as an adequate amount of ferrule is obtained, ferrule effect in this case is significantly enhanced as compared to that of first case. Hence this suggests that the coronal extension of dentin or the remaining tooth structure above the shoulder finish line provides an effective ferrule and helps in enhancement of the ferrule effect. Coming on to the concept of ferrule length and ferrule width. So ferrule length deals with the height of the remaining tooth structure. So at least 1.5 to 2 mm of the height of the remaining tooth structure should be present in order to disperse the forces of occlusion onto the periodontal ligament. If the height is lesser than 1 or 1.5 mm, this may lead to the failure of restoration. Whereas coming on to ferrule width should be at least 1.5 mm. So what is ferrule width? Ferrule width is the remaining dentin thickness after the preparation. So the remaining dentin thickness should be at least 1 to 1.5 mm to withstand the forces and prevent root and restoration fracture. So coming upon the functions or importance of ferrule. So we all know that ferrule is an encircling band of cast restoration which braces the tooth. So this helps in providing the hugging action, and this hugging action instead it provides resistance to dislodgement and preventing of the fracture. So ultimately the hugging action, it promotes the other three advantages, that is it prevents the shattering of the root, it also reduces the wedging effect of the tapered dowel, and lastly it helps in resisting the functional lever forces and lateral forces which are exerted during dowel insertion. So I hope you liked the video, guys. If you like the video, please like, share and subscribe my channel Akshay Bhandari's Dental Videos. See you soon with more such content. Thank you.